Hey guys, this is Lousy here,
This is Backhand.
and welcome to We've Been Drinking MMA podcast. We are going to talk about the Kyle Nelson Choi Duho fight. I'm going with Choi, but Smart Money will probably be going the distance in this fight.
Yeah, I'm going with Duho Choi as well. This is it's a great featherweight matchup between. It's a great style matchup for Duho Choi against Kyle Nelson. They're both 31 years old. Kyle has got a 1-inch reach advantage. The difference, though, is mainly the power.
Yeah. Yes. Kyle Nelson loads up on his kicks, and he's able to land and might do some damage, but I just don't see that happening here.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Nelson has 3 significant strikes per minute, which is not bad. But most of them come from kicks. Pretty much basically all of them come from kicks. Leg kicks, I would say. His body kicks, I don't know. Some of them are significant, some of them not so much. Really, he loads up on his body kicks, and they're slow. His calf kick, his right calf kick is the one kick that is solid, really good.
With Kyle, if he gets pressured and pressured a lot throughout the whole fight, he gets tired super quick.
That's a huge point, yeah.
Yeah, with the Billy Q fight, that's what Billy Q did because his cardio is on point.
Billy Quarantillo.
Pressure, yes.
Dude, Billy Quarantillo has cardio for days.
Yes.
One of those guys, in his last fight against Alex Hernandez, just going off topic, it was amazing, guys. You got to watch. It was maybe fight of the year.
First podcast that he did.
Yep, it was amazing.
Billy Q, I was like, Billy Q's not good enough.
Yeah. It was amazing. He lost the first round, came back in the second a little bit, in third. He just started just putting pressure on.
Alex just got tired, and I think the same thing might happen here.
Yep. Kyle Nelson. So the thing is that in his last fight against Herbert, what happened was that Kyle would basically the only things he had to do was. He was just kicking and slow body kicks, the calf kicks, and then he
tries to take him down, but he's not able to.
Yeah.
And with Jai there, like you're talking about, he's a Thai kickboxer.
Mm-hmm. Could not take him down.
He couldn't take him down. I mean, that's a problem. All he does is kick, and he'll still not be able to take him down.
And he only has 0.6 takedowns per fight, so he's not a takedown artist. Duho Choi is a striker, and Duho Choi has 0.4 takedowns per fight, so no one's taking anyone down. It's going to be a stand-up fight here. And the thing is that Duho Choi has been knocked out in his last 2 fights. We got knocked out by Jeremy Stevens, who's a perennial top 10 fighter.
Brutal.
It was a brutal KO, and that's what really set up his last fight, where he got KO'd again by a guy named Charles Jourdain. And what happened is Jeremy, going back to the second last fight against Jeremy Stevens has ridiculous knockout power at the 145-pound weight division, and Jeremy Stevens landed a big hook, like a big overhand right, and it knocked down Duho Choi, and then it was this animalistic, almost like, do you remember when Michael Bisping KO'd Dan Henderson? And then the last big overhand, the jumping thing, and KO'd him again almost. It's the same sort of situation.
His head off the mat.
His head got bounced off the canvas, and that's exactly what happened with Jeremy Stevens. Knocked him down hard, and then he got in the guard, and but still was like on his feet a little bit, bent over, and boom, hit him again, and the head bounced like that. Then he elbowed Duho Choi like 1 or 2 times.
Got him out there.
And the ref had to stop it. So it was one of those things where it's almost like multiple KOs in one fight, almost like it feels like it. So needless to say, what happened was in Duho Choi's last fight against Jourdain, Duho Choi won the first round, right? And he was just striking masterclass, basically, which we all know that Duho Choi can do because he's that talented. He's a guy who looks like a top 8 guy. But the problem is that because he was, we believe he was chinny from his last fight still, even though it was, a little less than 2 years before. The timing of Jourdain's punch, it wasn't even a strong punch, but it was just a left hook. But it wasn't that strong. But I think it was a check hook, and so basically. Duho Choi would never get knocked out by this, but he got knocked out, I think, because Stevens kind of had that multiple KO thing on him in the fight previous. So the only way Duho Choi loses this fight, my point is that if he gets KO'd by a counterpunch, it's not going to happen.
He sets himself up for big shots because of the counter moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps moving forward.
Yeah, he doesn't.
After the first guy charges goes forward.
Yeah.
after he slows down, he goes forward himself. So he sets himself up for big shots.
Yeah.
After he starts to go move forward himself.
Right.
So
he can take some punches in the meantime while he's coming in.
That's right.
And so the thing is that the only way Duho Choi loses to Kyle Nelson is if Duho Choi gets countered, and we just said Kyle Nelson has no countering ability. Doesn't have no power. He has no power on his counter punches. So therefore, Duho Choi is minus 190. Both of us are going with Duho Choi for this fight, guys. It's a easy
Choi, and I think it's going to the distance. So I don't think either one's going to get knocked out.
Yeah, was this your lock, by the way, Duho Choi?
No, it was not.
No, okay. Well, you know what? Honestly, I had someone else's lock, but I think I'm going to change it to this one out because I just watched Nelson fight again. Yeah. So, guys, I'm betting heavy on Duho Choi.
Lock, so put my money in.
This is my lock, man. Duho Choi, he's so great. So that is the prediction, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Backhand.
This is Lousy.
And once again, you're joining us for We've Been Drinking MMA. We're doing the predictions for the Derrick Lewis Spivac fight. And our next fight is Tybora versus Ivanov. It is Marcin Tybora versus Blagoy Ivanov.
I'm going Tybora.
Going Tybora. For me, this is one of those fights where I'm going to edge towards Tybora. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage, which is massive.
Finds ways to finish his fight.
Yeah. I'm not super confident only because they have a similar style. Tybora's got more power. So he's got more power, got the reach, and that's why Tybora's got
the power.
He's got the power. He's a slight favorite. Polish power. And the thing is like they both are boxers, right? None of them really throw kicks. So it's a fun style of just two guys just trying to just hurt each other just with their hands. And
Ivanov can take people down, I believe. Am I correct about that? What's the takedown?
Well, he's got 0.9 takedowns per fight, and the other guy, Tybora, has 1.4 takedowns per fight.
Oh, really?
So Tybora actually has maybe a slight advantage.
I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah. So
definitely Tybora.
Basically, Ivanov is a guy who's beaten Tai Tuivasa, who just fought Serghei, who's the current champ, and he's got a win over Tai. He's got a win over Ben Rothwell, and his last fight he won versus Roger de Lima. Augusto Sakai, who's a really good boxer with good head movement for a heavyweight. He split decision lost to him. Split decision lost to Derrick Lewis, who's fighting in this main event. So Ivanov has a good record as far as it's hard to knock him out. The last 8 fights have all been decisions, whether he's lost or won.
He can't finish people.
He really can't finish people for a heavyweight. It's a little bit.
It's a difference.
Yeah, I've never seen a record like that for a heavyweight.
You just don't see decisions.
You don't see that many decisions.
Maybe he's laying for it.
So that's kind of the thing about it is you got both of them will kind of keep the distance and then throw like some combos with punches.
Yeah.
You know, what I saw was that maybe Tybora has a little bit more power.
Yeah.
So Tybora has that advantage.
Yeah.
For me, I like the live bet in this scenario also just because I feel like, you know, if I have seen Tybora get a little bit sometimes a little tired in the third round, he might not. I don't know. I haven't seen too much of him. I've seen
gassing out, you think?
A little bit in the third. Sometimes I've seen him. Like I haven't seen too much of him though. And the thing is though, with a 5-inch reach advantage, you know, that's a huge reach advantage in a fight. So for me, I feel like they could split rounds. If that happens for me, I think that in the third round, if Tybora looks a little gassy, maybe Ivanov. I'm just not sure yet. This is the one fight I'm not going to actually put money on right off the bat.
But
I like to blow.
This isn't my lock, but I think Tybora is going to steamroll.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got a reach advantage, power advantage, both boxers, so it's kind of one of those things where, you know, Tybora's got a lot of advantages.
Too much to actually win the fight. So
right.
I think Tybora with his power is going to just maybe not knock him out, but like unanimous.
Yeah. I mean, Tybora knocked out Greg Hardy. He knocked out Walt Harris 3 fights ago.
Great fight.
Yeah, man. Like he can make people pay. So it's gonna be an interesting heavyweight matchup. So all right, that's the pick, man. Lousy's going with Tybora. I'm kind of on the fence, even though I am edging towards Tybora. So
live bet it.
I'm gonna try to live bet this in the third round.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening, guys. This is Backhand again.
This is Lousy.
And again, you're joining us for We've Been Drinking MMA, doing the predictions for Lewis Spivac fight. This is the co-main event. This is Jung versus Devin Clark. It's a 205-pound light heavyweight matchup.
I'm going with Jung here.
Going with Jung. I'm going with Jung as well. He's minus 240, so slight favorite. He's got 3.5-inch reach advantage. He's got 4 significant strikes landed per minute, whereas Clark only has 2.9, so 3 strikes per minute. And they both have about 2 takedowns per fight, so even on that. So they both got KO'd in their last fight. Only difference is that Clark was fighting an unranked fighter named Mirzakhanov, and Jung, who we are picking to win. Jung got TKO'd by Dustin Jacoby, who is ranked number 14 in the world. And
Dustin Jacoby,
yeah. Yep, Dustin Jacoby is one of those guys, though, who, he could easily be number 11 or number 12. Just, he's not, like, the most physically talented, but he's got solid defense. He picks his shots really well, and he's hard to hit.
Not volume striker by any means, but
yeah, a guy who probably could easily finish Devin Clark as well. So it's like, just because Jung got finished by Jacoby, not that big of a deal. Jung has a bad habit, and so does Clark, of they stand a little stationary a little too much. They need to be moving. Sometimes they move, sometimes they don't, but when they don't move, that's when they're in trouble.
They're waiting to get hit.
They're waiting to get hit. Both of them are waiting to get hit a little bit, except I believe that Devin Clark waits to get hit a lot more often than Jung. So basically, that's the reason why we're going with Jung, is that Clark really was waiting to get hit a lot versus Mirzakhanov in his last fight. And he was susceptible to the body shot over and over and over again, and eventually he got knocked down by a body punch by Mirzakhanov, and that's the reason why it happened. Is just, sometimes he's bouncing on his feet, and then most of the time, though, he's just kind of stationary, really heavy-footed, just stands there and, doesn't get out of the way nearly enough when he's getting attacked. So because of that, we see Jung is a little bit more active as well. Like we said, 4 strikes per minute landed, 4 significant strikes landed per minute versus only 3 for Clark. So,
I think this is going to be a good fight. It's not like a top tier level talent of fighters here, but this is going to be a cardio. Who's going to land the right punch at the right time type. But Jung's just a better fighter, in my opinion.
Jung's a better fighter, yeah. When Jung is susceptible to getting hit when he's too stationary, Jung is barely able to get hit. He's just inside the range versus. Yeah, exactly. He's moving with the head movement more, and whereas Clark is like his whole body, his whole stomach is easily hit, and that's not going to be good. Also. The leg kicks by Jung will have an effect, down the road in the third round, and should slow down. What's his name? Clark, and then Clark will then become more stationary, and then Jung can then maybe get the finish. Jung does have an 80% finish rate when he wins. He wins by KO or submission 8 out of 10 times. So it's gonna go with Jung.
Clark has the best corner in the game with his dad just screaming the whole fight. It's amazing.
Yeah.
His voice gotta be hoarse by the end of that fight. He's screaming so much.
So really, star of the night is his dad.
Yeah.
Clark's dad. So
Friday night, Devin Clark's dad's voice.
He's here to pump everybody up, man. He's a hype man.
Jung for the win.
Jung for the win, guys. Appreciate the listening.
This is Lousy here.
Yeah, this is Backhand. We've been drinking MMA. This is going to be the Lewis Spivack main event fight.
Derrick Lewis versus Serghei Spivac. I think it's going to go the distance, all 5 rounds.
Distance makes a lot of sense. I mean, Lewis is a tough guy. He only gets finished by the absolute best in the heavyweight division. I'm actually going with Spivac, though. And it's just because Spivac, well, there's a few reasons. Spivac is 28 years old and is starting to really hit his prime, and Lewis is now 37.
That's a big age difference.
Yeah.
It becomes with the reaction time of throwing.
I mean, you can still fight good when you're 37. Anderson Silva proved that. There's some other fighters that have proved that. But the thing is that Lewis has been KO'd twice now in his last 2 fights. Yeah, they weren't vicious KOs because, well, the Taito Ivasa was vicious. Elbow to the head, and then he just dropped down like a sack of potatoes. That was sad to see because Derrick's been a legend for so long, but he got KO'd by Derrick Lewis got KO'd by Cyril Gane in their championship fight. Then he KO'd Chris Daukaus, who we think is great.
I think Chris Daukaus is great.
Great boxing, great aggression, and Lewis got him. But then after that, he got KO'd by Tuivasa and then KO'd by Pavlovich. So he's been KO'd. He's been KO'd 3 times in his last 4 fights, and he's 37 years old. It's borderlining now that you're gonna start losing to people that you shouldn't. You know what I mean?
You might become tentative because you've been knocked out.
I mean, Lewis is such a savage, though. Lewis does swing no matter what. He will keep throwing haymakers and punches. Like, he just does not. He goes down on his shield. He's a true fighter.
He's going and going.
The one thing is this. So the reason I think Spivak again is Spivak's age, but also Spivak he's more of a wrestler. He's got 4 takedowns per fight. And let's be honest, Derrick Lewis is susceptible to the takedown. He's been taken down by yeah. Well, actually, he did knock out Curtis Blades, actually, but he got who's a wrestler. So there goes my window. All right, thanks guys. Good night. Appreciate it for listening. And we're done. Lewis by KO. No. There was a fight with Alexei Olenek, and Olenek is an old guy with like 60 fights, old guy, like in his 40s, and Olenek easily took Lewis down. So the thing is that Lewis was able to get on top after that and do good, but Olenek, like I said, was old. Spivak is a young, fresh, hungry wrestler, but he now has gotten his striking better in the last 1 or 2 fights, and to the point where he's starting to look like Cain Velasquez, not to like the level, but like the style. His chain takedowns with his strikes into wrestling is as fast as Cain. I'm kidding you not.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you. Like he's actually gotten to that level where 3 fights ago his striking was abysmal, and that's why he actually got. I think he got KO'd by Tom Aspinall, who we have a ton of appreciation for.
Respect for. He's such a good fighter.
Literally, I think I said just not on a podcast, but I did say Aspinall. I think Aspinall is going to fight for the title. And then Aspinall got injured. Tom Aspinall got injured. Still injured right now. So the thing is that this guy has only lost to Tom Aspinall, and then 8 fights ago in 2020 he lost to Tybora, who was on this card as well. Tybora's got the Polish power, man. You got the Polish power. And then he lost to Walt Harris by KO, and that was again 2019. And this is when Spivak's striking was almost non-existent. Like, he was literally waiting to get hit. He didn't have much defense, and he was just a wrestler, literally only a wrestler. And now his jab is greatly improved, and of course, like I said, the striking into wrestling chain takedowns are unbelievably fast, like Cain Velasquez. His jab has gotten to the point where he looks actually like a striker. You wouldn't say he's a wrestler when he's striking, which is a huge compliment.
This is not going to be a volume, wear you down type punch.
No, Spivac is not just going to go into a striking match, no fire fight here.
Not against Derrick Lewis.
Spivac is going to throw the jab, and this is the other reason why I think Spivac's going to win. They're both fighting at still a good level for both these fighters. The only thing is that Derrick Lewis is susceptible to the jab. He showed it in the Cyril Gane fight. Gane was able to just jab, piece him apart, and they started out with the jab. And the thing is, Spivac's jab has gotten a little bit better, and Derrick Lewis only has a 1-inch reach advantage. You would think, because Derrick Lewis is the power striker, Derrick Lewis has a striking advantage, but he doesn't. He's got 2.5 landed significant strikes per minute, whereas Spivak, who's the wrestler, has 3.79 landed strikes per minute.
Oh my God.
So this is why I'm saying that, even if Lewis gets a little bit of damage on Spivak, Spivak's going to look to chain the takedowns, look to really use the jab to create the distance, and then when Lewis overcommits to a punch, duck under, go for a wrestling, and or just back up Lewis against the fence and go for the just a quick punch and then fake punch, fake strike, feint, and then just go for the takedown right away. He has so many options to take Lewis to the ground. I do agree with you, Lousy, though, that it makes sense going to the distance because Lewis, he's got so much fight in him. He just doesn't. I mean, his only loss to submission was against Daniel Cormier, and Daniel Cormier is an Olympian wrestler. Yeah. So other than him, he has not lost to submission.
Not a lot of give to him.
Yeah, dude. Literally, Lewis has only lost to submission once. There's no way he's going to lose to Spivac. Well, he could lose by submission. I just don't think he will. Losing to Cormier, there's no...
I don't think Derrick Lewis is going to get knocked out.
He's not going to get knocked out, and I doubt he's going to get submitted just because Cormier is the only guy who submitted him. So Cormier is a pound-for-pound great. Belts in light heavyweight and heavyweight, so a truly great fighter of all time. And Spivak is just not quite at that level, but Spivak definitely will be harassing him with the takedowns and chaining the takedown. So it's going to be, in my opinion, Spivac by unanimous decision, and Lousy says it's going the distance, so we both basically agree that it's going to be a decision.
Yeah.
But I will be betting Spivac outright just in case the old man Derrick Lewis, is a little chinny, after getting knocked out 3 out of 4 times. But I love the distance bet, Lousy. It's a great bet, bud.
Thanks, man.
It's a great, yeah, man, we're going to do the parlays and locks on the next video, and I appreciate you for listening.
Like and subscribe.
Hey guys, this is Backhand.
This is Lousy.
And this is We've Been Drinking MMA. Appreciate you guys listening to the show. This is going to be our predictions for our locks and parlays of the night. So my lock is going to be Duho Choi. I believe he will get it done versus Kyle Nelson. And then my parlay is going to be Duho Choi, Jung, and then my third one's gonna be Kinoshita.
Those are great picks.
Yeah.
This is Lousy here. My lock of the night is in the distance between Fujit and Kinoshita. Manny Bohm, who's fighting on the prelim, and Choi. That is my parlay, and my lock is in the distance, Fujit, Kinoshita. Someone's getting knocked out.
So the Kinoshita fight, Yosuke Kinoshita versus Adam Fujit, is an interesting fight because Fujit has no knockout power and Kinoshita has plenty of knockout power, right? So that's why we're thinking it's. It makes sense. I like your pick that it's going to go inside the distance. It's gonna end.
Someone's getting knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
I'm pretty damn sure Kinoshita is going to knock the hell out of Fujit, right?
Fujit's, if you look at his record, he either knocks people out or gets knocked out.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Yep.
It's not decision. It's
For
not
sure.
submission. He's getting knocked out.
And did you have Choi on your parlay as well?
That is correct.
Dude, he's my lock and he's in my parlay as well. And so Duho Choi is one of these guys, superstar fighter. He really has everything. His timing is excellent. Counters are excellent. Kicks, distance. He does get a little bit slightly over aggressive sometimes, just a little bit sometimes. Yeah. But he does it to at least set up punches. He doesn't just put his head in just like a moron.
He sets himself up for the big shots when he does move forward, but he has good defense as far as staying at bay while the other guys. He knows how to go side to side or back. He knows what he's doing as far as.
Doesn't it feel like he has so many different styles within him? Yeah. It feels like he can sit back and counter. It feels like he can go to the side and get you at the angle. It feels like he can do a lot of different things.
With his power punches.
Yeah.
Just throwing
I feel like if his coaches told him to just hold back a little bit and don't put on so much of a show and go forward all the time, I think he could win more fights if he just decided to win by decision more often. He likes to put on a show and really, he's exciting.
He can fight any way he wants against Kyle Nelson. I just don't think Kyle Nelson I just don't think he has enough power to do anything real special against Choi.
Doesn't have the power in his counters, just has the kicks, right? Those little calf kicks. And
Choi's the pick for sure.
Choi's the pick, man. Yeah. Choi's a guy who looks like a top 10 guy, and Kyle Nelson looks like, again, just doesn't look that great. And then who's your third guy again?
Manny Bohm. Yeah. He is fighting Jung Kim.
Mm-hmm.
G has fought 3 times in the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. All of them have been losses.
Wow. Okay.
So Manny Bohm is just on the way up, I think.
Awesome.
And so I think she's going to win this fight.
Yep.
So Manny Bohm, Choi, and my lock pick, which is in the distance of Fujit.
Yep.
Kinoshita.
Now I had Kinoshita winning, but I think he's going to KO Fujit. I think Duho Choi is going to beat Nelson really easily. And then, of course, my third one was Jung versus Clark. I like Jung. Jung has just more active than Clark, and Clark is a little bit more susceptible to getting hit. They're both big guys, though, and they don't move that well. So it's gonna be a fun fight night, guys. Good matchups, I would say, right?
Yeah, there's some good fights in here.
Yeah, it's like mirror. Some of them are mirror images. Some of them are mismatches, like the Duho Choi Nelson fight and the Kinoshita Fujit fight. And then so it's kind of interesting. And the main event is one of those fights where it's like, man, the young lion versus the old lion.
Yeah.
How many times do we have to say the young lion? Young lion's gonna win. So there you go, guys. These are our picks again, and we're gonna rattle them off again. My lock of the night is going to be Duho Choi, and then my parlays are going to be Duho Choi, Yasuka Kinoshita, probably by KO, and then Jung to beat Clark.
And my picks are, my lock of the night is In the Distance between Puju and Kinoshita.
Someone's getting KO'd.
Someone's getting KO'd in that one for sure. Choi is going to win.
Duho Choi, the superstar.
And Manny Bone. That is my parlay.
Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome, guys. Appreciate you guys listening. This was We've Been Drinking MMA, and we'll be doing every fight card. We're gonna be doing predictions, man. So we're gonna be doing the Volkanovski Makachev fight for next week. That's a very exciting one, guys. So stay tuned for that one. We're gonna be dropping that. We're dropping it the day after this fight on Sunday. So watch out for that, guys. Appreciate you guys listening.
Thanks again, guys.